right, Mr. TALIAFERRO TV, how's everybody doing out there? This story is so interesting, I couldn't stay away from it. This one involves two people. We have Russ and we have Adam No Jumper. Now, Adam No Jumper has a podcast out on the West Coast that's doing really well. Now, I'm not a fan of Adam No Jumper. I don't like the energy that he puts out in the atmosphere. I think he's too old to be interviewing some of the people that he interviews. But nevertheless, he's doing phenomenal. He's popping out there on the West Coast with his podcast. Salute to the No Jumper brand. Just not a fan of Adams. Now, as social media continues to grow, right, and people use their phones increasingly more, there is now something new that people have to deal with. It's not just the rapper who has the huge following anymore. Now you got influencers, is the word that they coined it, right? You got people who, media personalities, you got people who just do hair, do makeup, whatever it is. They now want to not only do their field, but they want to get involved in a little bit of the music field as well. They want to talk about Nicki and Cardi beef, and they got more reach than a lot of media personalities do. Let's just call it what it is, keep it a buck, right? So when you got a media personality like Adam voicing his opinion or getting in on the jokes, and someone feels a way, now a rapper feels as if though he has to address him as well because he has the following that a rapper does. So one day, Adam No Jumper tweeted this out, right? This is back in October. This is actually on Halloween of 2017. He said, what would you rather your child get into, Xanax's or Russ's music? And everybody voted Xanax. See, Adam, he too old to be playing with stuff like this. Like, I don't even like how, he too old. Like, that dude's what, mid-30s? He's entirely too old to be perpetuating drug culture with his brand. And that's what he's doing. So he pretty much was clowning Russ. Everybody online gives Russ the L. I really don't do that. I think Russ is pretty dope, actually. But everybody does the Russ L thing, and he was chiming in on the joke. All right? So apparently this tweet and maybe something else is what pissed Russ off. So we all heard the story this week. I did a video on it about Russ sending some goons at the Wireless Festival in the direction of Smoke Perp. He got a lot of security. He had some of his security beat up Smoke Perp. It wasn't just Smoke Perp. So now with that story hitting the forefront, we understand that Russ has been trying to get back at some of his other enemies. So Adam made the announcement because he said he was listening to one of Academic Streams with Russ on it. He realized, a few months ago, three big dudes just came into my shop and tried to sneak me, right? And he didn't realize it until he heard Russ bragging about it on Academic's stream. He realized let me put one and one together. Oh, Russ sent them goons at me. He sent those three guys to jump me in my store, right? He said they waited around till I went and got a manicure and I was alone. Dude punched me once and ran. And then Adam went on to say it was all because of this tweet. Like, bro, what the fuck is wrong with you? I'm a member of the press. I would beat your 5'5" ass, and I'm not even on this tough guy shit. Congrats, you got two people beating up, and you threw 0 punches yourself. The reason he didn't put the video out is because it was the most host shit ever. I've been sucker punched, but this was next level. All right, I was getting my fucking nails done. The Korean ladies went running. I didn't get hurt, and they didn't take my chain either. LOL. I just went off and told the whole story on my IG story. If you want the more in-depth account. I'm not gonna do that. Russ did respond. He said, no, it was because all of your tweets, aka a grown-ass, almost 40-year-old man constantly talking shit to someone who he's never met or talked to. Till now, LOL, if you think there's no consequences, reciprocation of energy for constantly spewing negativity towards someone, then I just gotta give a shrug to you because that's your fault, pretty much is what Russ saying. Adam went on to respond and said every media publication should be running a headline tomorrow that says something along the lines of Russ sent hired goons to beat up a podcaster who made jokes about him on Twitter. Even your fans are going to admit you handled this like a pussy, right? Russ then responded by saying, how about a 40-year-old man who has never met or talked to Russ use his platform to constantly ridicule him? Admitted that was whack, but it's surprised that the $15 million a year Forbes list rapper had him dealt with in a way that makes sense given his position in life. All right, let's end at that. This is why words matter, and I get it. I have a platform. I do commentary. I give some news as well. In regards to Adam 22, right? When I go out in public, from time to time, when I see a rapper, right? When I'm at an event or something like that, they hold me accountable for my words. It's never anything physical, but you know, they just make sure I'm getting the news stories right. Make sure, you know, let me give you my manager number. If you ever need a story, make sure you hit us up first, just to, you know, not like checking in, but to make sure you got the facts. And I'm fine. I love that. That's sourcing your information. That's checking in. Yo, is this real? Is this, you know, from time to time I will do that, right? That's making connections. These are real people who want to make sure that their stories are being told correctly, for good or for bad, right? Now, you got to be held accountable for your words. That's why I don't come on here just 100% going in on artists saying here's an L, I don't do that. And do I cost myself followers and maybe building a platform up quicker? Yeah, but that's just not the energy I'm putting out in the atmosphere. Point I'm trying to make is, Adam, you can't be mad at the energy you put out in the atmosphere. You know what you were doing. You were joining the joke like everybody else. You can't use the whole I'm a media publication when you were not doing something that a media publication does. That's when you were becoming more than just the outlet that gives the story, and you're now becoming somebody who's joking. You became a fan. You can get dealt with. You're just a popular fan in that regard. You can't use the every media publication or I'm just a media outlet and you're ganging up on a media outlet. That's not cool. Well, you were not handling yourself as a media outlet when you made that joke about Russ. What would you want your child to get into, Russ or Xannies? That's not what a media publication should be doing. So you crossed the line first. Now, in regards to Russ, I ain't trying to big Russ up for what he did to Adam by any means, and I'm not trying to big up what he did to Smoke Perp. I think there's a difference in what he did with Smoke Perp and allegedly did with Adam. You see somebody out in public, I do believe it's one of those things where you got every right to have that same energy, right? Somebody said something about you online, keep that same energy in person. That's what Russ did with Smoke Perp, it looks like. Now, when you start sending people out to somebody like Adam, who is a media outlet, though he might have in that instance became the commentary fan person, now it seems like you're not handling criticism well. So I see both sides of this, right? Because now it looks like, Russ, you're the sensitive guy who's picking who you want to, because there were a lot of people who chimed in on your name and they gave you L's and all that. Now it looks like you're picking and choosing who you want to send people at, and you send an opportunity. You caught Adam slipping and you caught him. Now, hiring goons, not even your own people, hiring people to go after somebody and sneak some, that's different. I can't support that. That seems like Russ was getting a tad bit too sensitive, right? That's different. I can't float with that either. So I see where both sides coming from, and you know, it is what it is. What y'all think about this story though? Talk to me in the comment box below. Apparently Russ sent some goons. Let me not call them goons. He sent 3 big ass dudes to a store where he called Adam at, and pretty much he tried to sneak Adam for Adam's comments that he made about Russ in the past, joining the crew of people who said, you know, Russ deserves an L and all that stuff. Whatever. I actually like Russ's music. Thank y'all for the time, love, and support. And no disrespect to Adam and his brand. It's not for me. I just don't support it. I don't like him. I'm not a fan of his. But he has a huge brand and he's growing. So salute to the No Jumper brand again. And in regards to that, man, again, Adam needs to know that he's got a very, very powerful influence on the youth, man. A lot of the youth love his platform, and he's responsible for that energy he puts out in the atmosphere. And he will get treated differently than the fan. People know him. They know where he's at, and they know how to get to him. He's just not a social tweeter. You can't join the jokes like the fans do. You're a real person that people can get to. I'm out. I came from nothing, but I want everything God has for me. I interview celebrities. I talk sports. I still represent the culture.
Got the kids, they are now tuned in.
Yeah, we locked in right now, Mr.
TALIAFERRO.
Mr. TALIAFERRO.
Mr. TALIAFERRO.
Mr. TALIAFERRO.
Shout out to Mr. TALIAFERRO.
You're watching Mr. TALIAFERRO TV.
Mr. TALIAFERRO TV. Here with the triple B's, you can't do nothing but win.